Yeah. What's up, everybody? It's Mathew Sweezey. I'm Chief Strategy Officer at Smart Token Labs. So we're the project behind Smart Layer, which is what we're here today to talk about. And the biggest thing that I think everyone needs to know is we have created XNFTs for the EVM world. We were just, and if you're not familiar with XNFT, that's a executable NFT. And the problem that it solves is really this idea of, yes, we need to make it easier for people to engage in this world, but we also have to have more utility inside of tokens. And so what an XNFT is the ability for a token to become executable and to become an application or a game in of itself. And that's kind of a hard concept for some people to get. So what we've done is we've created a game. It's a fully on-chain game. The token is the game itself. You open the token and you play on the token. It has an interface that you play with, which essentially allows wallets to now become app ecosystems and tokens to become applications that fire inside of those. And that's the Smart Cat game. And right now, this game is the #5 game on Polygon. We put over 500,000 transactions on chain in the last week with over 30,000 unique active wallets. And so you can kind of, if you want to play around and kind of see what this is or play with the concept of XNFTs, go grab yourself a Smart Cat.
So how did you guys come up with this concept and decide to execute on it?
Yeah, so we've been building since 2017, and we've been wanting to really help the world see functionality beyond just currency and collectibles. We believe in what we call token-centric architecture, where when we put tokens at the center of a digital world, we enable an entirely new type of experience to be possible where we can use the token as the connection point, hence token-centric architecture. And so we built ERC 5169. That is essentially allows any token to become an XNFT where you can point to an external executable script. And then we also created a language called token script, which essentially allows those tokens to now carry a very specific type of script that allows them to interface with the Web 2 or Web 3 world. So we've been building for this world for a long time. And now we're really excited that people are trying to find new utility for tokens and new use cases for tokens, and excited to be able to present XNFTs to the EVM world and to be the first XNFT on Polygon with the Smart Cat.
Well, we definitely appreciate all of the work that you've been putting in. I mean, I think this will be really amazing once this really catches on and people understand how powerful this can be. I've seen some of this type of stuff on some other chains. So this is the
Mhm.
first time I'm really witnessing it on the Polygon blockchain. So it's very exciting to be able to have these executable NFTs. I know Poco has seen some of these executable NFTs, on some other chains as well. So yeah, it's super great that you're bringing it on over.
Yeah, we're super excited. And I think the big concept here is utility. It's what can we do inside of a token? So we just kind of used the Smart Cat game. We didn't set out to create a game per se. We set out to be able to showcase what you can do with an XNFT. And you can start to get into new things that have never been possible before, such as token to token messaging, where one token can message another token and the messaging channel is the token itself. So you can start to open up and unlock new doors like that. You can start to think about, if I'm going to create a game, how do I create a game before the game? Or can the game assets have additional functionality or interoperability outside of the game? Such as if I take my game token to McDonald's, can McDonald's automatically up my token to the next level? And so I can have extended gameplay. Or what happens if I want to be able to release a game token and that asset is the game itself, and I play with the asset to then get it up to the levels so when the game releases in 3 years, I now have all of the utility and functionality I need in that asset. So you can have a game before a game or a game in a game. So it opens up a whole new world of what is possible for NFTs. We've had a lot of projects be interested in saying, cool, we want to be able to do more with our NFTs. We want to be able to do more with our tokens. And we're excited to be able to help them do that on Polygon.
So what's the reception been like with you guys coming in and releasing this on the Polygon blockchain? Did you guys already have a community that was active and engaged? Have you noticed, an influx of people coming in and using it and enjoying it? Like what's your experience been like from the community engagement side?
Yes, we've got a super awesome and amazing community. A lot of them are actually here on the call with us today. So what's up, Smart Layer community? Appreciate you guys being here. We've been able to build a community over 2 million people in the last about 120 days. Their excitement around the project is definitely based on this concept of what we call token-centric architecture and the ability of XNFTs to be able to go and do more. So, their excitement really kind of drove the 900,000 mint. So we put up an open mint for this game. We didn't tell everybody it was a game to start with. They just wanted to be a part of the community in a deeper way. And they minted over 900,000 of the NFTs. And then we released the game. And like I said, we've had extremely phenomenal success with the game. There's some days that the game's the #1 game on Polygon. If you look at collectible dApps in the world, we're in the top 10 of the collectible dApps in the world right now. So like there's a lot of different aspects of just why people have gotten really excited about this. It's just the first that people have never seen. And now it's starting to help people understand what can we do more than just be a currency or collectible, and what happens when wallets really do become browsers, and what happens when tokens really do become some type of a utility that actually brings more utility into a wallet and doesn't just solve the problem of UX of making wallets easier, but gives people a reason to want to have that token and what they can do with the token in a wallet beyond just being a collectible or a currency.
Well, I think this is amazing, because like I think when you look at NFTs, like if you look at like general NFTs, like PFPs, 10K collections, right? As far as like a blockchain is concerned, a 10K collection is not the most valuable to the blockchain, right? Because it doesn't generate a lot for the miners. But when you look at it and you have these massive, projects where there's multiple, very very large amounts of NFTs, way over 10K, and then there is a game that is attached to it, right? That generates a lot of on-chain activity, right? And I think we're really starting to see a move towards these types of NFTs, and I think it's always kind of been that way on Polygon, where there's kind of these NFTs where there's a large amount of them. It's a way to engage with some of the larger brands so that they can activate their communities in a meaningful way. So yeah, I mean, very impressed with the size of the collection, and then with the game being able to generate so much on-chain activity.
Yeah, we're currently accounting for 3% of all Polygon on-chain transaction per day right now with this one game. So that is exactly the point, is to say, what can we do? And if we start to think about what is possible, you hit it right on the head. A PFP is cool, and that shows ownership. But if we're really going to talk about how we onboard the masses, that's not a value that most of the world really wants or needs or sees. But if we start to be able to say, what happens when tokens can do more? What happens when we can start to think about tokens as new methods of delivery for communications or delivery of services, and break them out of apps and websites? We really get into this next world of what does this digital primitive unlock beyond the DeFi world? And that's what we're here for.
No, absolutely. I think like, NFTs, as far as PFPs, they bring culture, right? And a lot of a lot of social activity, which I think is really important. However, like when we're talking about mass adoption, right? And bringing this technology, to the general population, it's going to come in the form of applications like this. So I did want to ask, like, have you had interest from projects or games or people coming and saying, hey, like, this is really great what you've built, we'd like to learn more and figure out how we could implement this ourselves?
Yeah, we've had a lot of chains reach out to us directly saying, we want you to come do this on our chain. Because, like I said, if we can account for 3 to 5% of total transaction volume on a chain, and we're just a project, every chain is wanting that transaction volume. And what we've essentially said is, to your point exactly, a PFP is cool, but it's going to be traded very lightly, right? It doesn't put a lot of transactions on chain, and its ultimate value is really subjective and small. And I say small meaning it's a very small target market that cares about a PFP right now. So we have to be able to say, how do we, number one, create things that people that really solve existing problems in their lives or that they want to use? I mean, that's the mass adoption world. And so that's what we're unlocking, is ability for that utility to be created, advanced functionality delivered through a token. and that can be then delivered through a wallet. And that's the second group that's been reaching out to us that wants to integrate. And so everyone is wanting, all the wallets want to be able to now say, you can do more in my wallet. It's not just about trading. It's now about you can actually have a wallet be an app marketplace. And for that to be true, then the tokens need to be able to become applications, and we unlock that functionality for them. So we've had a lot of interest, not necessarily just from projects, but also from the infrastructure world, from wallets as well as from chains, being able to say, we want to do more. We know that more utility has to exist. We just can't live off of PFPs alone, like you just said. Hence, they see our technology as fundamentally changing the way that their future will exist.
And why did you guys decide to come and build this on the Polygon blockchain?
It was pretty simple. I mean, I had some friends at Polygon. So I've known Brian for a long time. We've got a lot of friends over there. But the reality is if we're trying to make a game and we want as many people to play as possible, there's some things that you need to have. And number one is you need to be able to have a lot of transactions. As we've proven, we need to be able to put a lot of transactions quickly somewhere. And then two is we need to be able to make sure those transactions are not super expensive. And so if you're trying to play a game, if you're wanting to have a large amount of transactions, you need to make those barriers to entry for your players as low as possible. So we thought Polygon was a great fit, number one, because transaction fees are very low. Number two is the speed. We can put a lot of transactions very quickly. And then number three, we just really like Polygon. We got friends over there. So I hope that's a cool answer with y'all.
Well, I am definitely happy that you have decided to come and build this on Polygon. It's something that is very, very exciting. So I do want to ask a couple of audience members what they think about this. I want to throw it on over to No Futuristic. I mean, what do you think about this, No Futuristic?
I just jumped in the room, so I'm lost. I'm very lost. I don't want to. I'm probably the worst person to ask right now.
The answer is everything is amazing, new futuristic. That's all you need to say is this is the most amazing thing.
Amazing tech. Is there going to be a supernet associated with this? Because I heard 3% of transactions on Polygon, and my heart kind of started to drop because I thought of Sunflower Farm messing up my channeling on Avagachi.
No, but it's not a super chain. But yeah, we will be putting a lot of transactions on chain. So actually, we put more transactions in Sunflower Farm right now on chain.
Awesome. I'm going to have to check it out. I gave you guys a follow.
Nice. Well, what about you, Poco? I know you've got a little experience with some executable NFTs. If you can speak, I know you're getting ready for work and you got your little ones.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of been a new tech that's been around, I think, for a couple months here. So I think it's super interesting. Also, the whole gaming aspect, like you mentioned about, bringing in more users, and something you've talked about before too is like some people like the PFP market and all of that's cool, but I think gaming is a big way to bring people in, and they might not even really need to know that it's attached to a blockchain or anything like that. Like once you can get people to start using things and they don't care if it's this or that, or they're on the blockchain and don't even know it, I think that's definitely going to keep moving things forward. But I'm honestly still new to the whole gaming thing. I've really been like the last couple of weeks trying to learn more, just because I do see the value of it. So that's kind of my thoughts. They're not too much input, but it's early. I know that, and we need to keep on building and moving forward with different things like this, so we can get more success down the road. So, but I do see Van with the hands up. How's it going, Van?
Hey, good morning, everybody. Yeah, just finished up our show. Me and No Futuristic Cop over here. So I did a quick deep dive about what's going on here. I saw Smart Cats on secondary, and it was, like I'm a big sweeper on Polygon, especially when they're at a affordable price, I guess. So this answers a question of what that collection was, and I'm going to look at it again because, yeah, for sort of what was said before is the 10K collection is sort of the standard, right? 10K or under, but for mass adoption, a 10K collection is pretty terrible, right? Uh, because it's great for like a social club or an exclusive thing, but if you're trying to actually build a massive audience, say for a gaming audience, which they're on the right chain for gaming, sort of Polygon has the edge there, from what I understand. You need more than 10,000 NFTs. So I'm doing a deep dive here real quick, a crash course, I guess, on how the executables and stuff work. Very interesting. I did see the collection while I was doing some shopping over the weekend. Like I said, in my space, I sold an ordinal, took some profit, and then brought some of that back over here to Polygon. I was sweeping all weekend, and I saw it, and I was curious about it. So very informative. I'm going to be checking that out. But yeah, that bigger collection size, if you're trying to grow a wider audience, makes a lot of sense. Especially, if you get a 10K collection or a 5K collection, prices go up to 1, 2, 3 Ethereum, or 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 Matic. The average person's not going to be able to become part of your ecosystem, right? They're sort of like an outside looking in, or they're going to look for a derivative or some nonsense like that, and that doesn't benefit you, doesn't help your project really. So very interesting project, a theorem. I'm going to check it out, and now I know what I was looking at over the weekend. So glad to have you guys in here on the Polygon Perspective. Good morning.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, and you're talking about the difference in size, and that's totally correct. 5,000 or 10,000, and we minted over 930,000 of these NFTs. So a massive amount of NFTs. And then I think that the last part on that was then the functionality. It's, if you're doing a 5 or 10,000 person collection, that's mostly going to be based off of, exclusivity, rarity, financial speculations, what driving those prices. And we're trying to say that for us as a collective world, the Web3 world, to really get to mass adoption, we've got to move beyond speculation. We've got to be able to deliver real value to people. And that's what we believe has been missing, is the ability for these NFTs to have real value. Token gating is cool, but that's not enough. We need to be able to do things such as experience and application. The NFT we have apps on our phone. We're trained to understand that I go to a place, I do lots of things with that thing. To the rest of the world, why the fuck do I buy this thing when it does nothing for me other than get me into a club and be an asset for speculation? That's not how we get to mass. And so that's what we believe that this can unlock. And so that's why a lot of the projects are really into this as well, is saying we've got this community who's asking for us to do more. And so now we can get into all other kinds of things, such as they can be games. They can be, like I said, token to token messaging. Imagine if you can message directly through your token. I was talking to one of the world's largest football clubs, and what they want to do is give a token to every person in the world that watches a game. And they want to use that as a communication channel. And if you can now message directly through that token to that individual, just imagine what we can now unlock in terms of new dynamics. And that's how we start to reach the mass. So it's a combination of making it easier than, I don't know if you just messed up and keep hitting like, or you really dig in this thread, but we move out of this world of saying it's just about speculation to now delivering what I would call real tangible value that anyone can understand, and that is easy. So I'll just stop with that.
Go ahead, Van, if you want to respond.
Yeah, so I do like it, first of all, and number two, I'm bumping your super spaces score. That's how that works. You get points for emojis while you're talking. Just a little alpha there. But no, I do like it. I'm a gamer, I'm a game enjoyer, and I talk about this all the time in all different spaces, all over the place, that there's a corner that needs to be turned in gaming, because the average game enthusiast, the average gamer, the average game player, what blockchain brings to them would benefit them immensely. I mean, when you look at microtransaction culture, all that stuff, it's predatory against the gamer, where blockchain tech, sort of what you guys are doing, is beneficial to the gamer. So they actually own their assets. They actually, gain some sort of tech, tech or application utility, something like you're talking about, that's beyond a centralized server and a game company that can be shut down at any time. Their assets can be, they own essentially nothing. So there's a huge corner to be turned for the general gaming community. And right now, you guys are ahead of that corner, which is very smart. And it's just sort of an uphill battle right now. So we need positive reinforcement and positive experiences for people who engage with gaming in a Web3 setting overall. So no, I'm giga bullish on it. That's what all the thumbs were about. I agree with everything you said. Once we make that turn in our collective consciousness into, it's not a matter of just putting, DeFi stuff or yield or whatever on the Web3, but you can actually benefit the average, the average person with, holding their own digital assets, or through utility, like you're talking about messaging, other interesting stuff like that. It'll be a very fast corner turn when it does happen. We're not quite there yet, but I'm super interested in what you're building. I really am, and I love what you were saying.
Awesome. Thanks, Dan. I just want to add one more thing to that, which you said is the microtransactions. And that's one of the big things that we think we agree with on the future of gaming is we've talked about, and when I say we, collectively, the world has talked about interoperability in gaming. And that is mostly meant one game asset moving to another game. And so I take asset from game to game. But we believe there's a whole nother way that we should be looking at interoperability, and that's game asset interoperable with the world around it, which means that let's say that I'm playing a game and I've got 50% life and I want to up my life. Well, I could pay the in-game transaction, but to your point, that's really kind of me being nickel and dimed as a player. What if I take that asset to somebody that wants to engage with me, like maybe McDonald's? I go to McDonald's site, connect my token. They then automatically up that life because there's the instruction manual, which we provide with an XNFT for them to do that. And now you can start to unlock this world of saying it's not just my NFT interoperable between other games. You now have the world around it that can start to engage. And that then really solves three key problems. One is the player doesn't have to spend all their money. They can now get the market to then do it for them. Two is the game now has new sources of revenue by being able to have new types of partnerships with people that can spin up instantaneously, because none of this, it's all done with a token-centric world. And then three is you give brands a new ability to have a contextual relationship with gamers past just putting banner ads inside of games. So we really do see some of these things as really fundamentally changing how we think about gaming. And that's totally separate even just from the game asset being a game in and of itself.